Hey everybody, how's your day going? I hope your Monday's off to an amazing start. In this video, I want to talk about the waiting game. I want to talk about the waiting game in entrepreneurship because there is a point in everybody's business where you got to make some decisions and you need to decide whether it's time to take action or whether it's time to wait. 99.999999% of the time, it's time to take action. And the only way that you're going to find out what's working and what's not and actually move forward in your business is if you're taking action and you're making decisions every day. The problem is, in entrepreneurship and in adulthood in general, nobody really taught us that when we become adults, right, we need to start making decisions that don't feel good. Right? And I think that for some reason, we as adults, we bought into this lie that everything we do has to feel good all of the time. Every decision needs to feel good in order to make it. But when we're kids, we don't have that luxury, right? That's why we have parents telling us to go clean our room when it doesn't feel good to go clean our room, right? And then even as adults, when we get into the 9-to-5 world, or when we have an employer, we do things all the time that don't feel good. We make decisions all the time because we know that we have to, and because we have someone else telling us what needs to be done. We have someone like that we know is going to, we know there's going to be repercussions if we don't do what we're supposed to do in our job. So the problem in entrepreneurship and the problem with the waiting game is that when you have nobody telling you need to make this decision, you need to take action today, and you need to do it now if you want to get results this month. You don't have anybody telling you to do that, then you enter the waiting game. And what happens is you start waiting for this feeling to come over you, for whatever you need to do in your business to feel good, to feel right, and for everything to feel aligned and comfortable, right? It's never going to happen. Okay, if your kids waited until they felt like cleaning their room, until that felt good, it would never happen. Nothing would get done. It's the same thing as an entrepreneur. When you don't have anybody as an adult telling you to make decisions and take action, even if it's scary or if it's uncomfortable, and to grow a business, that you're going to have to do hard things and to start getting good at making those uncomfortable decisions and taking action even when it doesn't feel good. You got to learn how to do that yourself, and it's a skill you have to practice. The only way to get good at it is to actually be aware of it when it's happening, be aware of the feeling of discomfort that's coming up, and your natural inclination as a human being to avoid anything that feels uncomfortable. To get aware of that happening is the first step, and then the practice leaning into it, right? Practice leaning into taking action in your business even when you're not comfortable doing it, even when you're scared to do something. Practice doing it anyway and learn to make decisions from that place, because otherwise you're going to be ruled by your emotions all of the time. Otherwise, you're letting fear control your decision-making process. You're letting fear stop you from taking action. You're just waiting for this moment of inspiration to come over you when everything feels good. And guess what? Inspiration and feel good is gone in a moment, right? You can get inspired by watching somebody. You can get inspired by a training and say, yes, this is totally what I want to do. This is what I need to do. But the second it gets hard or something scary comes into play, you have to do something uncomfortable. If you haven't practiced and you haven't trained yourself in the ability to make decisions, not from a place of, oh, does it feel good, but from a place of, I know this is what my business needs. I know logically this is the right step for me. Everything else is just mind drama keeping me from doing the uncomfortable things, and I need to practice doing those things. If you can get into that place of awareness when it's happening, then you can practice leaning into the discomfort. You can practice making those decisions from a place of discomfort and leaning into them anyway. Does this make sense? Has anybody noticed this? If you've ever been, in a 9-to-5 before and then you jumped into the entrepreneurship world, you don't have that person there anymore. You don't have that person who's checking in with you to see that you got your list done for the day. You don't have anybody keeping you accountable to the decisions you make. You don't have anybody at the end of the month saying, what did you start in your business and what did you complete this month, right? Have you noticed this as that transition into as an entrepreneur, having to force yourself to make the uncomfortable decisions, right? The most common thing I hear from new business owners and entrepreneurs is, I'm not ready. I know in my heart I'm not ready, or I just don't feel ready. And I think that is the biggest trap that people fall into, is they wait for this feeling to come over them, this feeling of feeling ready. It's never gonna feel ready. It's never gonna feel good. You're never gonna feel like an expert in the beginning. That's why you lean into the discomfort and you don't rely on your emotions to rule your decisions, right? The I'm not ready is no longer an excuse, right? You can choose to let go of that story anytime you want. But the key to overcoming it is to practice leaning into the discomfort. Become aware of how you're making decisions, and then the next time you're faced with the decision to do something in your business that's scary or uncomfortable, you get to be aware of it now because you're practicing that awareness, and you get to, from an aware place, from a conscious place, decide to lean into the discomfort and say, whoa, I was just about to back out of something because I'm scared and I'm a chicken and I don't want to be that anymore. I want to be an adult, because it's the only way I'm going to grow a business as an entrepreneur, is to start making adult decisions and stop waiting for my parent to come tell me to go clean my room. I'm going to lean into what I don't want to do, to what's uncomfortable, and I'm going to do it anyway. And then every time that happens, practice repeating it, right? It's not going to be on autopilot. It's not going to be easy because it's not a practiced habit yet. It's not a practiced action. Your brain is so good at just falling into comfort and avoiding discomfort and avoiding risk and avoiding putting yourself out there and avoiding anything that's going to stretch you as a human being. So the only way to get better at it is to practice. And people ask me, well, how long does it take before I'm just always making decisions and not letting, fear and comfort control me? Well, my answer is, how often are you willing to practice doing that? How often are you willing to practice making those decisions? How often are you willing to practice doing the uncomfortable things every single day? Is it every single day? Is it once a week? Is it once a month? Is it twice a year? How often are you doing that in your business? How often are you doing that in your life in general? So that's my tip for you guys on the waiting game in entrepreneurship, because so many business owners are saying, I'm not ready. They're saying, I'm waiting. I need to wait until I'm ready. I just need to make sure. And that is the death of your business. That is literally the death trap of your business, and it's all up here in your mind, and it's all avoidable. You have the control over that. You have the 100% control of that. Nobody else does. Nobody else can push you but yourself, okay? You gotta learn to be pushy with yourself. You gotta be willing to make yourself feel pushed, okay? Don't tell me anybody else is being pushy with you or anybody else is pushing you. You gotta push yourself. So every time you get uncomfortable and every time you hear that voice in your mind saying, not yet, I'm not ready, I gotta wait, I just wanna be sure, whatever the word is in your brain, whatever that thought is that your brain likes to put on autopilot when you get uncomfortable, you get to be pushy with your brain. You get to tell your brain, hey, I'm aware of this isn't happening anymore because I need to start getting things done, and right now I'm not getting the help I need, or I'm not moving forward, or I'm not taking action, or whatever is broken right now is probably because of what's going on up here in the stories that you're telling yourself. So let me know if this is something that you've noticed in your business or if something that you've had to work on or overcome. I'd love to hear your comments on it. It's definitely something that I lean into now and I practice, is just making myself uncomfortable. Whenever my brain wants to keep me from making a decision because I don't feel ready, I lean into that emotion, because I know the more I do that and the more I start doing the things that I don't feel ready for, or doing the things that scare me or make me feel uncomfortable, the better I'm going to be at taking action in my business, and the more I'm going to accomplish in a shorter amount of time. So, all right, guys, I'll talk to you later. Bye-bye.